Soldier has been shot dead and 3 others injured in Bole in a gunmen attack in the northern region.
At the site, robbing people. So when they saw them coming and they saw the security in their vehicles, they thought they were coming purposely for them. One is confirmed dead.
The soldiers, whose identities are yet to be confirmed, were part of the Bole District Security Council team en route to a Galamsey site at Dolapa, a border town in Ivory Coast. There have been reports of similar attacks by armed robbers and gunmen in the north in recent times. So what could be accounting for the increase in gun attacks in this area? Could this be blamed on the influx of small arms, or is it the police that needs to do more to curb these types of incidents? We'll find out shortly, right now, right here on today's big story. My name is Osei. The team consisted of the district chief executive, a police commander in the area, and a commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, also from Bole. Now, the soldiers, we are told, died during an exchange of gunshots with the unknown armed men. Body of the dead has been deposited at the Bole Government Hospital. The injured are currently receiving treatment. We can now listen to Joseph of Yagbon Radio, who has an update and who has been following this issue.
Bole, to be precise, that
Bole
is
in the northern region, yes.
Where His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming from. This morning, what happened is that the patrol team, some security soldiers, 3 soldiers, plus the DCE and the coordinating director for the DC for the area, Honorable James Jagger, and some security agencies. Police were not there, but immigration service, one of them was there, and then one fireman too was also part of the crew. They were moving to a nearby area called, it's a border town anyway. They call that place Dollar Power. That place is prone to this, Galamsey illegal mining and whatever. And so they were going there. The place is Ghana. It's a border town. It's like there is a part that is part of Ghana, and the other part is the other side, Burkina Faso. And so when they got there, they were crossing. There were other vehicles that they asked to come to Ghana and pick them across. So those vehicles, they will not be able to send their vehicles across. So those vehicles that they were sending, they got to a point where there were other robbers that were already at the site robbing people. So when they saw them coming and they saw the security in their vehicles, they thought they were coming purposely for them. So they did not run away anyway. They just surrounded them. They were in the ambush. So they have nowhere to go before they realized they were shot from nowhere. There were bullets from nowhere, and they were shooting their 3 cars that they were moving, the convoys that they were moving. And that is how the whole thing occurred. And as I speak to you, 2 soldiers are seriously injured. One is confirmed dead. The fireman is injured. He was able to speak to us how the whole thing happened, but he's not able to tell how many the colleagues that were there, whether they are all safe or not. But as I speak to you, the DCE is safe. He came around. We tried speaking to the DCE. The place is crowded at the hospital here. A lot of soldiers are around. They will not allow you to even come near the DCE. So that is how the whole thing happened today.
Okay. Joseph, we learned earlier that the district chief executive was part of this convoy. Was he also injured?
The DGA is safe.
Meaning he wasn't injured, he was not shot?
He wasn't injured, but he's part of the convoy.
Okay. Now, for this incident we're learning of today, do we know what the Security Council is doing in view of this attack?
Well, so far, as I said, I spoke to one of the policemen that is around. He said his commander is not in town. He even called him he traveled. He called him and find out what happened. He also rushed there and realized that is what is happening there. So with the security agencies, for now, they are not ready to speak to us. The area they've been terrorizing the area day in, day out. It's not only that area, just Bole and its environs. Day in, day out, we hear of incidences of armed robbery, armed robbers, and all that. So I think it's high time we get more security, they deploy more security to this very area. Other than that, it's too much.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. But just before you go, I want to understand this. For those who are injured, how are they responding to treatment?
It's joy, that's all. Pardon me?
I'm asking that for those who are injured, how are they responding to treatment at the hospital?
Well, I understand they're transferring to other for the responding. I understand they are transferring them to other hospitals. I don't. They are seriously injured anyway. But I think for survival now, I cannot tell whether they are responding to treatment or not.
Okay.
Let's do some analysis now and speak with Dr. Franklin Baini. He is a security expert with the African Center for Conflict Resolution, Peace and Security. He's also a UN consultant. Good evening. Many thanks for your time on today's big story. Dr. Baini, you're on today's big story. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Aisha.
Dr. Baini, what could be accounting for these type of attacks, armed robbery attacks, especially in the north?
Thank you, Aisha. In fact, the problem right now taking place in the northern part of Ghana is a whole lot of things that has come to this far, including the armed robbery that you're talking about. Conflict in the northern Ghana heavily undermines the efforts towards good governance and then poverty reduction as a result of loss of life, including armed robbery, political instability. All these things will need to come to that and are also affecting development activities, queue up development opportunities. But then before I go to the real causes of all these things, the government of Ghana entities and the civil society organizations involved in aspect of conflict management in northern Ghana have indeed approached peace in an ad hoc and non-systematic manner. In recent times, if you agree with me, yes, the government of Ghana is spending millions of cedis annually in enhancing security agencies' activities in northern Ghana. But the main causes, most of these conflicts in the northern Ghana are ethnic in nature. Ethnic conflicts have contributed in the northern Ghana, very cyclical in nature and have historical relationships, if you agree with me. These conflicts have always involved one group of factions trying to change the status quo and involving surroundings around the world around things like inter-chieftaincy dispute and inter-ethnic dispute. So you might be surprised that this armed robbery is connected to that. That has really, caused anger and then one person taking life of the other. So the armed robbery by itself is not just the ordinary armed robbery that we all know, but this is a link. There's a link somewhere. So these conflicts are highly cyclical, as earlier said, and like a regular basis, according to what we have been following. Another point that has been a factor to this conflict could be chieftains, which we all know. So there's now enmity of war of groups to families. That can also lead to this. When it was a robbery, is killing. The person coming to attack you has the motive, the purpose, the mission. Been sent or been bought as trying to come and just eliminate you without taking anything from you. So when we take robbery, like someone will come and not take virtually nothing for you and goes away. Then the other part of the conflict of this matter is political and campaigning promises by the politicians. That can also be what we think we have to be considered from this kind of perennial conflict. These are all factors that contribute. So when we talk about armed robbery, it's not really as far as northern Ghana is concerned.
How about the police? Has the police performed its role effectively all this while?
Well, the police of our country, they've been doing their best. But I think what I believe they've got to be doing is when the situation of that this nature comes up, they need to subject the student to a concrete, tolerant, what do you call it, the analysis of the conflict. Because if conflict is not well analyzed, Aisha, you cannot really solve the matter. Now, I can see this, that the real matter has not been analyzed to arrive at the matter at the core. Therefore, finding solutions to these issues to be what to be. Because for every situation of circumstances, for every problem as far as conflict, there is a solution. But we need to analyze and determine what kind of approach that can be much more adaptable or useful for that conflict to be resolved. So our Ghana police, yes, of course, doing their best, they're trying, but I think they have to do more in this direction.
Dr. Baini, how do we resolve this? You talk about an approach. What approach would you advise?
As far as this situation is concerned, and this 21st century, we are shifting from the normal way of addressing issues, which is in the form of a judicial system. We are keeping away from. Many countries have adopted that. That is ADR, alternative dispute resolution, mediation, negotiations, and then this kind of approach, modern approach, which is more practicable. I should let you know that whenever law comes in terms of resolving conflicts, there will always be enmity in war at the end of the matter. So you realize that there's always that enmity will continue to eat up the parties involved. But when you adopt that approach I'm talking about, alternative solutions, indeed, at the end of the day, the solution itself will come from the party. And that is the best of this 21st century. So I propose, and I continue to advocate for that, for a conflict solution to be established. Let me give a final example. You remember some time ago in Brongafo when the Catholic University was coming to be established? I tell you, I was the secretary today on the conflict resolution in Brongafo. And we adopted, even though that time it went to court, but we went to court. I wrote to court, then we take the matter out of court. And we adopted approach of the alternative dispute. And today, the Catholic University has been established, and they are living amicably within that community. So I think I propose that.
Well, many thanks to you, Dr. Baini, for your time on today's big story. We truly appreciate your time this evening. If you just joined us, we're talking about shootings in Bole. We've been trying to reach the Northern Regional Police PRO, Ebenezer Tete, to give us an update of what is happening. We'll also be trying to speak with Joseph Wure, who's been following this issue, to give us an update. We'll also speak with another security analyst, Commander Sogwajo, and we'll be talking more about this issue. But if you just joined us, it's about shootings at Bole, where one soldier has lost his life. We're told 3 more are injured and have been hospitalized now. Let's go on to the other phone lines because Wing Commander Patrick Sogwajo has just joined us. Patrick Sogwajo retired. Good evening to you. Thanks for your time on today's big story.
Good evening.
Commander, the soldiers, we are told, were involved in an exchange of gunshots, with the armed men. And the concern is, what do the military look out for before embarking on their operations? Couldn't they have suspected something of this nature?
Well, currently, we're not too sure what the situation was at the peripheral area. I believe the military must have been going on patrol. And before patrols, they might have had security or intelligence reports. But you wouldn't put the whole blame on the military because at the moment, there's too much weaponry system within the northern part of Ghana. This could be an act of either galamsey or armed robbers or whatever it is. So I believe we may have to find a long-lasting solution to try and retrieve most of the weapon systems being used in the north at the moment.
Well, Commander, so in times like this, Commander, what would you advise if there should be defense? What would you advise for?
Well, the military normally assesses what they should do, but the military just won't get up to perform any duty unless they are authorized. So this is something which should come between the national security and maybe from the defense, to sit down and really look at how they could maybe search and retrieve or search and destroy weapons, unauthorized usage of weapons. So we have another situation where rifles or shotguns are being manufactured by our locals, and they've been doing this for many years. But there must be a system where the non-military type of weapons could be retrieved and the military one, because most of the shootings we are seeing are military type of weapons, the AKs, the Uzis, and all machine guns. And they kill. They don't maim you like the local ones which normally diffuses pellets.
So who should we blame for this? Should we blame the proliferation of arms?
Yes, certainly proliferation of arms, and the small arms commissions to really sit up and see it's a big issue. If our porous borders don't help, and they will have a lot of these AK-47, which are normally military, which should be kept in guard rooms, which are out with individuals. And they will also have neighboring countries who have been in some form of turmoil. And they always would like to sell arms to people who want them. That has made the northern part of Ghana a red zone area.
Well, it's become worrying, especially because there has been several reports of this nature in the north, where you find armed men attacking people on the side of the road or in the bush and all of that. How do we resolve this? How do we bring closure to this matter?
I believe the military will have to use search and destroy. By cutting off habitable areas at different times. They know how to do it. We've been trained for it. And searching and destroying weapons they may find with unauthorized people. After the tactics of how they employ search, either rescue or destroy, the military, I believe, is up to it. But it comes to when would that kind of operation be ordered to be done?
Hello, Commander.
Yes, I'm here with it.
Okay, so you're talking about how the military can help resolve this, but how about the police? What part do they have to play in all of these?
Because this kind of operation normally is for the police, it's not the army. Or they do it in conjunction with the police. It's the police who goes off, army will call it. The area, it's done everywhere under the sun. They're cordon off the area, police will go in for the search. And when they cordon, it means that no one can enter, no one can come out. It's like imposing a small curfew in a small town. And the police moves in to go and search houses and huts and compounds, whatever it is. In the meantime, the military is outside waiting to prevent people living with their arms or something. So once it's initiated, it's a joint operation between the police and the military.
Well, many thanks to you, Wing Commander Sobgojo, for your time on today's big story. We're extremely grateful for your time. If you just joined us, we're talking about a gunshot in Bole. Exchange of gunshots between the military who were going for a meeting and some gunmen. And we're told one person is dead and 3 other people are in the hospital. The gunmen, we're told, it's a team en route to a Galamsey site at Dollar Power, a border town in Ivory Coast. And there have been reports of similar attacks by armed robbers and gunmen in the north in recent times. And that's why we're asking what could be accounting for the increase in gun attacks in this area. We want to know if we should blame it on the influx of small arms, or we should blame the police for not doing much to curb these kinds of incidents. And we've been talking to two security analysts. We spoke to Dr. Franklin Biney, who says that a lot needs to be done to ensure some of these things, and we shouldn't only limit these attacks to the north. He says that armed robbery attacks can happen everywhere, and he says that sometimes they even attack people without taking anything from them. They have a certain motive for doing all of this. So we have to put our intelligence, the police, the army, and all the security people should join forces and put intelligence and monitor things, and don't wait for these things to happen. Let's now go back to Bole and speak with Joseph Wure, who has been monitoring the issue. Good evening to you, Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Well, I'm told, Joseph, we've lost Joseph on the line, but if you just joined us, this is today's big story, and we're talking about generally armed robbery attacks, and especially because we've had such attacks in recent times in the north. And today we've lost a military man and 3 other military people who have been injured and who are in the hospital. We're told they're responding to treatment, but we'll be getting our correspondent, Joseph Wure, to give us more on how they're doing, whether they're doing fairly. Hello, Joseph. I'm told he's back on the line. Joseph, good evening to you. What can you tell us about the people, the military men who are in the hospital? Are they responding to treatment? We lost Joseph again. I must apologize. We're having some technical problems with our phone lines, but it's still about security, not only in the north, but generally armed robbery attacks, and which a military man has lost his life today, and 3 other people are in the hospital responding to treatment. Bottom line is the military, the police, and the other security agencies need to do more and always take proactive measures and do not wait for such incidents to happen, because we're told by the 2 security analysts we spoke with that the armed robbers or the gunmen always have different strategies of handling some of these operations, and so the military, the police, the security experts should outsmart them and always be ahead of them. This is today's big story. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Good evening.